So if you listen to my reaction to the recent Nintendo Direct Mini, it's easy to come up with the opinion that I'm not a big fan of ports on Switch. But reality is that I actually think that ports on Switch are a good thing. Be them old games like Skyrim or even Doom from about a year and a couple months ago, or, old Wii U games. In fact, I have argued in the past, not very, very well, but I've argued that every single Wii U exclusive should come to Switch. There's no reason for it not to. Wii U was just a total bomb in the market, and even the games that did well are going to do even better on Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has already proven that. I'm sure Bayonetta 1 and 2 and Tropical Freeze are also going to prove that, as well as the sales for those games will probably be higher on Switch. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, despite the fact you can buy it for like $17 right now on Wii U, is going to sell better on Switch. Now, setting that aside, I actually think it's a good thing for Switch to get ports and get a lot of them. I actually don't even view it as a negative. There are people out there that view this as a negative, and I get it because I guess the big reason that, the feeling coming off that Nintendo Direct Mini was that I wasn't that excited is because I don't have any plans to buy most of those ports coming to Switch because I have already played them so much. I actually just want new games. But I am in the minority, I think, of Switch owners that feel that way. A lot of Switch owners haven't played those games. They didn't own a Wii U, or if they did, they didn't buy those games. So it's actually really, really good. And I think this is something I had to remember because I own Skyrim on PC, and I still am going to be buying Skyrim on Switch eventually. I own LA Noire on PC, and I'm still going to end up buying LA Noire on Switch eventually. I could have bought Doom on PC, but I didn't, and I ended up buying it on Switch. I could have bought Wolfenstein 2 on PC, and instead I'm going to be buying it on Switch, despite the fact that it could come out a year after the game initially released, potentially. We don't actually know when it's going to come, but I'm assuming it could be up to a year after it came out. So ports are not a bad thing, especially old ports. Obviously, new ports, if they decide they want to port WWE 2K18 over and release it day and date, that sounds like a good thing, even though it ended up being a bad port. But I actually like ports of old games on Switch. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people that still have some criticisms for Switch, and I'm not just talking about general online criticisms and things that Switch could legit be doing better, but just in terms of content, some people are saying that, of course, Switch is, this is proof that Switch is old hardware. All it's getting is Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 ports, Wii U ports. It's not going to keep getting ports from PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I understand the concern, but I also don't view it as a negative. There is something to be said about taking games that a lot of people remember playing at home on their TVs and suddenly being able to do that again, yet also take it with you on the go and potentially have better performance than those games used to have. Even as Dark Souls, the OG Dark Souls Remastered, coming to Switch, even as that's releasing on other platforms at 60 FPS and likely higher resolution, reality is that even at a stable 30 FPS on Switch, that is a better running game than it was on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. People forget that. They forget the OG Dark Souls was a 30 FPS experience on those systems, those old systems, and it regularly dropped down into the teens. So if on Switch it's running at a solid 30, that's an improvement. Is it as big of an improvement as 60 FPS, which PC gamers got? No, of course not, but it's still an improvement. And there's a lot of value, I think, in that for consumers. And this is where I get to the point where ports ultimately are a good thing. A lot of people that criticize them, it's funny. When you hear some people that are fans of other platforms and they criticize Nintendo, oh, it's just a system of ports. Where were you the first 2 years of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Almost every major game that wasn't a multi-platform, franchise like Call of Duty or Madden or FIFA was a port. The reason to buy, The Last of Us was ported, right? Granted, it actually ran better on PlayStation 4, but it was ported. So was the Uncharted series. So were many, many games. Many titles were ported to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One over the next couple of years because that was the easiest thing to do in the first couple of years, is bring the best games from the prior generation to the new generation. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that happening on Switch, whether it's Wii U games, Xbox 360 games, PlayStation 3 games, whatever the case may be, even older PC games. I don't see an issue with this. I think that I'm of mind that if I had it my way, every game that's ever released in the history of video games would be on Switch. Because Switch is offering, yes, obviously you got that portability factor of like 3DS games, so you could argue that Switch isn't offering any more convenience in that, but it does offer a convenience to play those 3DS games in HD and then also play them on my TV. So like Switch is in this unique, it's such a unique platform in terms of what it's providing to gaming that I honestly am not bothered by ports. Even if they're ports I'm not going to buy, I still think it's ultimately a good thing. The Nintendo Direct Mini was all right. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, which is why I'm just saying it's all right, but I don't see anything wrong with the port announcements. I'm going to end up picking up Dark Souls on Switch. It's just going to happen. I know I'm going to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can argue about the pricing. A lot of times when games get ported or re-released on newer platforms, they end up costing more than if you just went out and bought the OG game. But still, setting that pricing discrepancy aside, I am genuinely excited by ports on Switch, and I think you guys should be too. Even if you're not going to buy some of these ports, or maybe any of them, there's probably going to be a game ported at some point that you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to give it a try. I want to play that game on the go. I want to take Skyrim on the go. I want to take Doom on the go. I want to take Wolfenstein on the go. Oh, and when I am at home, it would be really cool if I didn't have to switch systems to also play it on my TV. And that's the convenience that Switch allows. And I think because of that convenience, we need to be more accepting of ports. Because honestly, there's a new reason to port games. Because there's a new way to play them. A new way to experience them, and a better way to enjoy them. And I'm always of mind as well that a good game, a good to great game, is always good to great. As in, just because it's older doesn't devalue how great that game is. So Nintendo's a big believer in this. That's why they don't discount their games very much. But I'm a big believer in this for the whole of gaming. As an example, I think Assassin's Creed 2 is just as good today as it was when it came out. So if they want to port Assassin's Creed 2 over, I'm all for that. Bring it on. So that's the thing. I want ports on Switch. I don't want ports in lieu of new games. That is my big caveat. I don't want ports, this to become just a port machine and not get new games. But I can't say it's been that way. Yes, there have been ports so far, but we've also gotten new games. So we're getting a healthy mix. So I'm hoping that continues in the future. We continue to get new games, new exclusive games, new multi-platform games like NBA 2K and FIFA and all that stuff, and obviously new indie games, but also ports of old games. I'm totally cool with that. It absolutely should be happening. I hope it continues to happen, and it's something that actually excites me the most about Switch as a platform. But again, I want to throw this at you guys. You guys let me know what you think about ports on Switch. Are you for them? Are you against them? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, etc., etc., etc.? There's many different ways you could go with this, but I'm a believer in ports on Switch. I want more of them. Bring them on. Thank you very much. Every game in existence, come to Switch, please. Case closed. Anyways, folks, I'm Nathaniel Robojets from Nintendo Prime, and hey, why don't you give this video a like? In fact, let's do something different this time. If we can somehow, some way, this is crazy, if we can hit 1,000 likes on this video, we will start our February giveaway early, before we even announce the winners of the January giveaway. And believe me, the giveaway is going to be pretty awesome. Anyways, folks, I will just catch you in the next one.